The topic that we are going to discuss is programming with MATLAB. So first we'll see the conditional statements that are used in the MATLAB. The MATLAB conditional statements enable us to write programs that make decision. Conditional statements contain one or more of the if, else, and else if statement. The end statements denotes the end of the conditional statement, just as the period was used in the preceding example. The first one that we are going to study, the conditional statement, if end statement. An if end statement consists of an if statement and a boolean expression followed by one or more statement. It is delimited by the end statement. The syntax for if statement is if expression. After that, you can write the statements that will execute if the boolean expression is true, then the statements, and after that the end. The example here is shown how to use the if statement. So here we have initialized the value of a is equal to 10. We have declared that if a, then we have written the condition if a is less than 20. If the condition is true, then only it will print the value, that is a is less than 20, otherwise it will end. The second conditional statement is the if-else statement. An if statement can be followed by an optional else statement which execute when the expression is false. The syntax for the if-else statement is if expression and followed by some statements, else statements, and the end. If expression is true, then only it will execute the statements that are written in the if, otherwise it will execute the statements that are written in the else block. The example here is shown. Here we have declared the value of a is equal to 100. Then if a is less than 20, it will check the condition. If a is less than 20, then it will print a is less than 20. If the condition is false, then it will jump to the else statement and it will print a is not less than 20. The third one, conditional statement, is if, else if, else if, else. An if statement can be followed by one or more optional else if and an else statement, which is very useful to test various conditions. When using if, else statement, there are few points to keep in mind. Point number 1, an if can have zero or non-else and it must come after any else if. An if can have 0 to many else if and they must come before the else. Once an else if succeeds, none of the remaining else ifs or elses will be tested. The syntax of the given conditional statement is if expression. If the expression becomes true, then only it will execute the if block, otherwise it will jump to the else if block. Again it will check the condition and it will execute the statements written in the else if block. The third is the again else if block. It will execute the statements if the expression or the condition becomes true, otherwise it will go to the else block, which will execute some of the statements and it will end the loop. Here is the example given in which the value of a is equal to 100. It will check first if a is equal to 10. If the condition is true, then only it will print the value of a. If the condition is false, then it will jump to the else if statement. There it will check the condition. If the condition is true, then it will print the value. If the condition is false, then it will jump to the else if, the next else if. Here the value of a is equal to 30. It will check. If the condition is false, then the last loop will be executed, that is else block, and the statements that are written in the else block will be executed. So in this example, the value of a is equal to 100. None of the condition match, then at last it will go to the else statement and it will print none of the values are matching and the exact value of a is.